Like Bill Belichick, who better stylistically to make the jump the other way if he actually were want to do that than a coach that is used to having a like totalitarian level of control over his team, my way or the highway, iron fist, that is much more college than it is professional, used to managing every part of the roster, being the GM and the coach in the way that you're still somewhat asked to in the world of college, and now can clearly relate to young people in that way. Like, it feels less insane on paper than I thought it would originally, even if I ultimately think it's very unlikely that it'll happen.
It feels insane to me. It just does, because he's just been, in the NFL so long, and a walk-in Hall of Famer to the NFL, to go back to college. He's just Mac Brown was the oldest FBS coach out there, and Belichick is just a year younger, so he would go in as the oldest FBS coach as well. And I get it. He does fit the system now because the system is more pro style than college style. But I don't see it. I see one of the other candidates, Arthur Smith, the OC from Pittsburgh, was talked about. He turned it down. What is it? John Summerall from Tulane, the head coach there, and they have interest in him. Iowa State's Matt Campbell, there's interest. Georgia D coordinator Glenn Schumann, there's interest. I would be stunned. Obviously, Bill is by far the biggest name, but Mike, I would be stunned if all of a sudden even though, as Jesse continues to point out, he's hanging with the younger crowd now, that he would be coaching 18 to 22-year-olds.
You have to worry about keeping Bill Belichick out of the frat parties if you let him back out there.
Yeah, keep your girlfriend close, if you know what I mean.
The jokes write themselves, don't they?
Yeah, they do. There's cheerleaders, too.
Listen,
God, oh, man, what are we going to do?
Listen, he's in a committed relationship right now, and we need to respect that, all right, you jackals. I will say, it has been interesting, Dad. Like, it would be a shame because Bill's actually been a lovely presence on TV. He's not quite been Saban levels of great, which is the funny part. I think Saban's been phenomenal, as we've talked about. These guys who are the two coaches of their generation. You could argue the two greatest coaches at their level of all time, who we know have all these through lines together, who have now in the same year made the transition to media on a number of platforms. And Saban, I think, has been a coup for College Game Day. To have a coach with that resume, as willing to go and have fun, do the things and provide the information as he has been incredible. Obviously, if he decides to ever go back to coaching, which I doubt he's going to do, he retired as opposed to being retired the way Bill Belichick was. I think that would be a real shame. But Bill's also been really good in his own right in all of this, so it would suck to lose him in that regard. But this would be a really interesting side quest, because your point, Dad, we know he wanted NFL jobs still last year. We know that's a possibility hanging out there this offseason, I'm sure, for some people. But I do wonder in his heart of hearts, now that he's had a year to sit there, if it's, hey, I've got an unassailable resume in the NFL. Do I really want to go back and tinker with that? Or I could do something that's completely low stakes at a program in North Carolina that's got resources, that's in a place down in Charlotte that's certainly got talent you can source from, where the structure is a little more similar to what you've been doing right now. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but for some reason, the more I keep talking about it, the less crazy it sounds.
I think Bill wants to go back in the NFL, and I think one of the main reasons, though I don't think he would ever admit it publicly, he's 15 wins away from John Shula's record as most wins as a head coach. 15 wins. So he wouldn't have to be in the league too long to get 15 wins. He has 333. Don has 347. So I do think that is incentive for him. But I agree with you. I think he has been excellent on TV. Saban has been great. When I did the Thursday night game in Cleveland and Pittsburgh, that was a game Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit did. I was talking to Herbie on the field, and Herbie was just so impressed with Saban asking questions about the broadcasting business, of cutting tape, of which way to turn, of how to look on the set. He said Nick is always asking questions to improve. You would think this guy's the GOAT. He's just going to walk in and do his thing. He said no. He said he asks questions. He's always trying to get better, which I guess is why these guys get to the level that they're at, Saban and Belichick. But it was good to hear. And you're right. Bill may enjoy the media part of it, but again, I think those 15 wins are one of the main things that's going to lure him back to the NFL if there's a spot available for him.